and it helps your business grow quite quickly. So.
But you can't claim anything back on products and stuff like that,
No.
like fuel and boxes, but you can claim it all back on an asset. So if I bought a van, it's going to work perfect for
We
us.
still don't know how or why the caravan got set on fire. Awful. There's an old banana Transit. It was dreadful. Is a life-size sex doll.
He says, what percentage of your full potential do you feel you bring to your business?
A notification from Facebook the other day asking us to put in our bank details because we can now start taking revenue from ads.
Yeah.
And
It's a skill, isn't it, saying that?
Yeah.
you just post.
Yeah.
I think he did something like £14,000 a month
With it.
just off ad revenue.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Movecast with your host. I'm Warren and this is Rob. And today we've got Terry from Worcester, started a clearance business 3 years ago, which is going from strength to strength. Very excited to have you on, mate.
Thanks very much. Good to be here.
What we tend to do to start with is ask a business related question.
Okay.
So that'll come from Rob.
Okay.
Yeah, good to have you on, Terry. Nice to have you on, mate. So my business question today, obviously you're a clearance company. What's the weirdest thing you've ever cleared or removed, should we say? Because I bet you do see some strange stuff.
Yeah, we do, to be fair. We see quite a lot of odd things. The strangest thing that we've ever moved or found is a life-size sex doll.
Okay. Yeah.
Was it used? Yes, it was. Not just by me, but
Female or man?
Yeah.
it was male.
Was it
No, it was female. So
was it a female sex doll?
Yeah.
Well
female
used.
sex doll. Massive boobs,
Yeah.
nails.
And as a clearance company, do you own that effectively? Do you buy that?
Are you saying,
buy
do I
the
still
job?
have it?
Do you still, yeah. Is it still
Is it downstairs?
Is it in your garage?
Yeah, it comes with the rubbish. So when we do our clearances, everything gets put on the truck, and then effectively that's ours.
It's
to
yours, yeah.
Choose what I want to do with.
This particular person, did he ask you to clear it, or was it a deceased?
So this came from somebody that had passed away.
Yeah.
So the property was in the estate.
Yeah.
And then we just have to go around and do the clearance, so to speak.
Interesting job.
Yeah, it can be, very much so, yeah, absolutely.
So do you have to go in with gloves and stuff and all that? Yeah,
Yeah, we
all
always,
the PPE.
we always do, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Take them off sometimes.
Do you ever have to go or hazmat suit?
No, I tend to try and avoid jobs like that,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Yeah.
from a health perspective. Luckily, we're at a point now where we can sort of pick and choose
Yeah.
what we do, so
Yeah.
I always try and keep it, both obviously because my business partner is my brother. I don't want to be doing jobs like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
good if
could
you've
do, and obviously potentially there is a lot of money in that side of it,
Yeah.
but that then takes the fun away from
course.
the removal side of it.
Yeah.
When we first started, we did a job where it just wasn't a very nice. It was a shop clearance in Hereford, and I was just breathing awful for about 2 days. And after that, I said to Ricky, I was like, I don't want anything to do with that ever again.
Because you can get asbestos moves and stuff.
So that's one thing that that is like a swear word in my business.
Yeah,
so
okay,
we categorically will not deal with it.
Yeah.
Were you allowed? Have you got a
No,
license for
so
that?
not only am I not licensed, I've
Yeah.
chosen not to have the license for it. Again, there are companies that obviously are.
Yeah.
And again, I get asked for it all the time.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
pretty, like you say, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when we do garage clearances, it's in all the garage roofs. When you go and do business, lots of businesses now still have the asbestos and stuff in the roofs.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was everywhere.
It was.
When I bought my house years ago, it was in the floor tiles. I had an asbestos survey done.
Right.
It was in the soffits, it was in the floor tiles, it's everywhere. So you do have to be careful when you're doing the removals.
Yeah, because it's like you get to know in 20 years, right, if it's affected you. So it's
That's
not,
a problem.
It's just not worth it,
No,
is it?
absolutely not.
It's all right. It's all right now, but in 20 years' time, like,
Yeah, that's right.
what does it do to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good that you're at a point where you can cherry pick now then.
Yeah, it's taken a couple of years to get to that point, obviously.
Yeah.
When you first start a business, you say yes to everything.
You do.
Yeah,
because you have to. You don't know when the next job's coming, you don't know when the next lead's coming. I've got kids, missus, mortgage, you know, bills have got to be paid.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, yeah, you do say yes to absolutely everything.
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
now I'm a little bit more picky with what I choose.
There's power in saying no, though, isn't there? It's a skill, isn't it, saying no? 'Cause
Yeah,
we're all
there is
yes-
actually,
We
yeah.
all like to say yes to
Yeah.
everything, don't we?
Yeah, I learned to say no when I was selling cars.
Okay.
So with my background of sales, that's helped massively with what I now do
Yeah, it's
in
great.
this business. Because
Yeah.
when I was a mechanic before, the answer was always yes. Can you
Yeah.
do this? Yes. Can you do this? Yeah. I never said no once. Yet when I went into sales, it was the total opposite. Can you? No, I can't because I need to do this.
Yeah.
Can you? No. So having
Is that
worked in both of those
you had a
industries,
bigger deal. You had a bigger deal going on.
yeah, so with the mechanic side of things, when I worked for Listers as a mechanic, I was salary based, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
I
of
could
course,
I
yeah.
could help 25, whoever I wanted to
Yeah.
effectively, and it wouldn't be an issue. Yet when I was selling cars, it was commission based. So
Course,
if
yeah.
I'm not selling cars, I'm not paying my mortgage.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was cruel to be kind to
Yeah.
myself. I've struggled with that really hard to start with, first sort of 6 months, and then eventually, as you do, you know, I was speaking to a few of the sales guys, are like, you need to say no.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
stop saying yes because you're not, you know.
Yeah,
you-
yeah, makes sense.
So that's helped now with this business, and I've been able to say, actually, no, I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You've acquired those skills over the certain jobs you've had.
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah,
It's a good foundation in its sales. I always say it's a great foundation to have.
yeah, it's
If you learn
brilliant.
sales, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
One of my biggest, I hated the job more than anything, but I learned the most when I sold fascia, soffit and guttering.
Oh, really? That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's a horrendous job that was.
At door to door.
Yeah.
I couldn't do
I
anything
wasn't
else.
door to door, I was in the next in, so you'd have a team doing door to door and then
Yeah.
I would go and try to sell it.
Oh, okay.
So mine would be planned leads,
Right, okay.
but it was very like, you know, charge 10 grand, but if they sign today, you can do it for 5 grand, you know
Wow.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was horrible. But I learned quite a lot there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do, and you learn how to read people quickly as well.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that I took out of the sales side of things is when you're talking to people, there's obviously a lot of it is body language.
Of course, yeah.
And again, even now, and like closing, I know it sounds silly, but just asking for business.
Yeah.
We all have, you know, get asked to generate quotes and blah, blah, blah. And it's easy to go, yeah, there's your quote.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
Well, no, hang on a sec, I'm giving you a quote. Do you want me to do the work?
Yeah, yeah. So you're quite big on the closing stage, are you? Would you
Yes,
say?
it's literally, it almost comes hand in hand with the quote.
Yeah.
So this is the quote.
Yeah,
Would you like us to get you booked in?
yeah. And what percentage are your quotes on Facebook, for instance?
So I would say
Do you email quotes? Is that more corporate work?
it,
that you
it
do?
depends on the customer.
Yeah,
And it depends on how the leads come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the leads come in via Facebook, I'll respond via Facebook.
Yeah.
Email, I'll respond via email. Certainly the older generation prefer email, I've learned. They're very much active on
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah.
and they're far more clever than they lead on sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, for us, Facebook is absolutely massive.
Yeah,
I'd almost say it's probably 90% of our 80% of our business
Yeah.
in terms of lead generation.
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, I think the reason that it's that big is because that's what I've channeled my time into.
Yeah.
So Instagram, I've only just really started to use,
Okay.
but I don't feel it works for our business.
Yeah, I think that's the demographic of the platform
Yeah, of
there
course
as well.
it is, absolutely.
Because
Instagram's
Instagram's
pretty, isn't
Instagram is
it?
built for,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
pictures and pretty
Yeah, yeah,
pictures,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Facebook's obviously was the original networking, well, not the original, but the biggest networking
Yeah.
site, and they built businesses on it, didn't they? And then that's when
Yeah.
the businesses. Yeah, I suppose you was the same when you started out.
Yeah, it was all Facebook at the start.
Yeah, it was all Facebook, yeah.
Yeah,
But then the website gets more traction. Now it's phone calls and emails.
yeah.
Yeah.
You rarely get Facebook messages.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But it's just the way the business has gone, do you know what I mean?
And each individual business is different in terms
Yeah.
of where you look for the information on a business.
Yeah.
So like even like on Facebook these days, somebody's always looking for recommendations. It could be for anything: a painter, a decorator, a kitchen fitter,
Yeah.
and then you'll see X amount of comments and stuff. But
Yeah.
sometimes people will still naturally go to Google
Yeah, of course.
and they'll look at how many 5-star reviews you've got, and then I'm more like that. So when I find a business, I want to know everything about them.
Yeah.
I want to see, I want to feel, I want to know
Yeah.
before I sort of entrust myself with that business. And I feel that's how we have to sort of adapt these days.
I think a lot of the clientele are like that these days, aren't they? Especially with Amazon, because even when you buy some stuff off Amazon, you look at the reviews, you sort by reviews, I do.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's exactly what I do. Yeah.
I don't do that. Sort by reviews. No,
The only reason why I started, because I bought a laptop and $3,000 MacBook and free pedigree chum. Tins turned up. Yeah, I've got the picture on my phone, I'll show you. Yeah, so I bought it, like Amazon Prime, and you don't think nothing of it. And I did think it was a bit heavy, and I opened it, and it was, pedigree chum. I was like...
That was like early eBay days.
That was Amazon as
Yeah,
well.
early eBay days, there was a story with a lady who bought an Xbox for her son.
Yeah.
And she'd spent however many hundreds of pounds, and it came and it was a box with an X on. And it's just like...
She weren't wrong, was she?
Absolutely, yeah, she bought a box with an X on. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you do have to be careful.
I took it back. It was a bit of a struggle to get my money back. They said just return it as normal.
Yeah.
So I returned it as a normal return.
Yeah.
And then they give you a timeline of the refund. And then the timeline come, they never refunded me. So I got on the phone, and a couple of phone calls later, I got my money back. You know what I mean?
Do you
But
reckon
yes.
Amazon took the hit there then?
They would, yeah, I'd say they would have, yeah. But yeah, on Amazon, you have Amazon FBA, so everyone thinks it's from Amazon, but really it's like eBay sellers on Amazon.
Okay.
But Amazon just market it as Amazon, and they
Yeah.
have their own warehouse.
Yeah.
You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense.
And they box everything up because it's their brand. Yeah.
Weird that.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at one of my business ventures. I've tried many.
Have you jumped into Temu yet? Anyone been on Temu?
No.
yet or not?
Absolutely.
I've heard about it. It's
I've
like
seen some awful
cheap
things,
stuff.
but
Yeah,
I've
I've
never
heard
bought
about
anything
it.
off it.
Yeah, I've tried a couple of things.
Yeah.
Took about a month to come. You forget you've ordered it. It turns out, oh, it's like a surprise, like a present. Nothing
Future
works.
self.
Yeah.
My past self bought you this.
Yeah.
So on this podcast, we like to kick it back for entrepreneurs, hear their journey of how you got to this stage.
Yeah.
So what was school like for you?
Good, enjoyed school.
Good school, yeah.
I went to Christopher Whitehead High School, went to Dines Green Primary, because I lived in Dines Green, still do, and then went to Christopher Whitehead's Love School.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
overly academic, but
Yeah.
it's very social, so I always
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
getting out and about,
Yeah.
playing football, pretty much playing football. That's
Yeah.
your life in it between 11 and 15.
Were
Yeah,
you
most-
good in school then?
Bang average.
Well, yeah.
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 Straight down the
Yeah.
I
middle.
was better in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good in football.
Yeah. Talked a good game.
I was terrible
absolutely
in
bang
school.
average.
So what about GCSEs? Did you come out with any GCSEs?
Probably spell fudge with it, I'd have thought. No, it's just C's all the way, pretty much, give or
Yeah.
take. C's, a couple of B's, and I got an A in
That's good.
PE. No
Yeah,
doubt.
Classic. Yeah.
What do you do when you don't want to be a teacher?
So did you go to sixth form after school, or what was it?
No, so I got a job as an apprentice mechanic for Lister's Audi in Worcester.
Okay.
So I did my apprenticeship with them for 3 years. One of the best 3 years. It was brilliant because the college was in Nottingham. So every 4 weeks we used to do block release. So we'd go up to Nottingham for a week. So you'd have
Okay,
like
yeah.
300 16-year-old students stopping in a travel lodge in the middle of Nottingham. It was chaos. It was amazing, but it was
Yeah.
chaos.
Good experience.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then qualified from that and stayed on as a mechanic for about 7 years afterwards.
So you know when you take your car you take your Audi, your nice Audi into Listers.
Yeah.
Is it all because they have I hear this rumour that if you take it into them, it's just an apprentice mechanic doing the work. Is that true? Yeah. Is that what it is? Yeah.
But no, obviously they had, I mean, there was, the site that I was at, there was give or take 10 technicians and you had 2 apprentices. So obviously you wouldn't just go to an apprentice, do that.
Yeah, of
They
course,
would be
yeah.
guided.
Shadowing you.
Would they? Yeah.
Easy
yeah.
jobs like a service or something maybe, but it would
Yeah.
always be double checked. So something, you know, you wouldn't just be trusted to just chuck an engine in there for us, mate. Yeah, no worries.
But would you say it was overpriced, or would you compare? Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And the reason that I say that is because, like, for example, you're wearing branded clothes
Yeah.
and you could buy cheaper clothes, but you prove not to.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah,
aware
it
that
is,
there are cheaper clothes out there that do the
Yeah.
same job. Could you get it done cheaper somewhere else? Yeah, of course you could. But is the level of quality there? No, you walk into a nice dealership, you have a nice coffee, you sit
Yeah.
down, you speak to nice people, you trust that the jobs are being done properly. You could always find it cheaper, but to what expense?
Exactly, yeah. You could always go to a back-end garage and,
Yeah, there's a lot of good
it's
ones
true,
out there.
yeah.
My brother's got one.
Yeah.
But you still dip into the
Use them.
mechanics?
No, I did.
Still got the tools?
I still do. No, my brother's got them.
Has
So,
he?
yeah, my brother's got. He owns a company called Midland Commercials. He's a commercial mechanic, so he's got all my tools. The only time that I dip my toe in is when I'm fixing my own trucks.
Your brother, is that the same brother who's your business partner?
No, it's my other brother.
Another
Okay,
one.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
many brothers are there?
So it's 4 boys, 2 girls.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
6?
6 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, big family. It's good. Good growing up.
you all get on?
Yeah, really good.
That's amazing.
House on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah, all really close
Yeah.
geographically and.
Are they all entrepreneurs, are they?
So me and Ricky have obviously got 5-star. Sean has got Midland Commercials, and then my brother, my 2 sisters, and even my missus all work for my brother.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
okay.
his business.
And how long's his business been going for?
So he worked for Midland Commercials for about 10, 11 years, and he now owns it. He's
Yeah,
owned it for
bought
about
out,
3
yeah.
or 4 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Does he
He's
sort you
flying.
out when you have fan problems?
Oh God, yeah. He without Sean,
Yeah.
like we'd be 1-star recycling.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, is he?
I would just ring him and be like, the van's, it needs a tyre, or it needs a bulb, or it needs. I had an EGR issue not long ago. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, just get it here.
But you'll know how to do that as well, though, wouldn't you? But you just ain't got the tools, kind of thing.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I hate
yeah.
spannering. I did
Yeah,
it for 10
yeah,
years,
yeah.
and it gets to the point like, you know, you do something long enough and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
I will if I have to. Like sometimes if Sean's not in the building, I've got no choice.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
get the lads to do it, but I feel like I'm taking.
Yeah,
So
of
I
course,
tend not to. And sometimes for speed, because I'm quite an impatient person.
Yeah.
So once I've made a decision about something, I want it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
need to
want
get,
it
you
done
need to
now.
get the van back on the road, don't you?
Yeah,
That's
of
the
course
most
we do. Yeah,
important thing,
yeah.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
without it, same as you guys. Without a van, you can't go to work.
The motto is if the wheels aren't turning, you aren't earning.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
motto, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he does everything. He's never charged me a penny.
Never?
Never.
No way.
I never, ever. You know, sometimes,
Can you hook me up on that?
absolutely. But no, you know, sometimes like with family and stuff,
Yeah, of
they'll do
course, yeah,
something,
yeah.
then there might be like a bit of a comment like,
Yeah.
oh, we're doing that again, are we?
Yeah.
Christmas dinner's a
Sean-
bit different, isn't it, sometimes?
Sean is
like,
completely the opposite. He's
Oh, is
the
he? Yeah.
most generous person.
Is it?
That's
Yeah.
great.
Like you almost
Yeah.
want to pay, but he won't take it, kind of thing.
I don't want to pay, and he won't take it.
Yeah.
Mind you, you must have in the family, because you brought us like cookies and sausage rolls
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. couldn't you? Yeah.
It's from dad, I suppose, but my dad's like ridiculously generous.
Is it?
Yeah.
Business as well?
Yeah, so he's got a company called Worcester Metals. He's only ever
Worcester Metals.
been, yeah, so that's like 50% of our, not Worcester Metals. Worcester Metals is their business.
Yeah.
But we've got 5-star Recycling, which is the face.
Yeah.
And then I've also got 5-star Metals, which operates in the background.
Okay.
Because we've got a metal company that is a background company, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And I'd split it for financial reasons initially, but it just makes it easier for me to manage.
Yeah.
Because as you know, when you're self-employed, people see the roses, but they don't see the shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a graft, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
it's a
fuck,
graft,
I didn't
yeah.
realise how hard work
You don't switch off, do you?
You
Never
don't
ever
ever
switch off.
switch off, no.
Especially more so, I suppose, with your business because it literally is 24 hours. People can message about the clearance, isn't it?
Yeah, that, and because of the type of work that we do, I need 10 to 15 jobs per day.
Yeah.
So in terms of lead generation, your closing rate's what,
Yeah.
30%, give or take. You know, I need 100 and odd leads per week just to be
Yeah.
able to go.
What,
Yeah.
What's the average cost of a job?
As an average, I would say about £280,
Would you?
give or take.
You VAT registered?
Recycling isn't,
Yeah.
metals is.
Metals are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, again, when I said the financial reasons for splitting
Yeah.
the business was
Yeah.
because I wanted my customers in recycling, in terms of rubbish, I want them to have the benefits of not having to pay VAT,
Yeah.
because I do a lot of domestic
Yeah, of course.
work.
Yeah.
So if I say it's 200 quid or it's 200 quid plus VAT,
Yeah.
I can now afford to be cheaper than a skip.
Yeah, of
because
course. Yeah, yeah.
skips are 240 quid plus VAT, which makes it 290, give or take.
Yeah.
Whereas I can just say, oh, well, I'll be 220.
Yeah.
So I'm earning the same amount as that company, but I'm charging my customers
Yeah, of
20%
course, yeah.
less.
Yeah, of course.
So is that your biggest competitor, like the do-it-yourself skip, where people get their own
But
skips?
then I guess
would you
you-
say that?
There's a couple of companies that are our biggest competitor. Yeah, obviously you'll always have like your DIY people,
Yeah.
but once once you start talking to people and you explain that they physically can't do it cheaper.
Yeah.
Because I had a typical example. I've got a guy that I'm doing some work for on Tuesday, and he asked for a quote to dig out some soil, and he wanted some topsoil put on. Bit different to what we normally do, but rubbish is rubbish. So I was like, yeah, cool, gave him a quote, and he was like, well, how have you got to this quote? So I literally broke it down, and I was like, a skip's 280 quid, topsoil's £90, a ton, give or take, depending on where you get it from. So you're up to nearly, 400 quid, give or take.
Yeah.
I said, you haven't lifted a spade yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a shovel,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And then once I'd explained, and he was like, actually, that sounds great. Get us booked in. Because even if I do it myself, I've got to fill the skip.
Without a doubt, yeah.
And I've got to pay 20% of that, which I wouldn't pay to you guys because you're not that side's not that registered.
Would you say you lose out on the costs of disposal then because you can't claim any back? Does that hit you? Does that affect you or not?
It does affect me on the recycling side of things, but on the metal side of things it doesn't, because of the way the VAT is set up. I get to keep 9.5%.
Okay, flat rate then. Yeah.
So I'm at 10.5%.
Yeah.
And then I keep 9.5%.
Yeah.
And again, that was one of the financial gains. In splitting the metals from the rubbish, which I wish I'd have known from the start. But when you start a business, you don't know.
You don't know.
You think you know a lot. Like I thought I was. Quite
Yeah,
educated and knew a lot, and I knew nothing.
Yeah.
You learn so
I
much.
went flat rate and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic, to be honest, because I don't know if it's changed much now, but it was like you charge 20% to the customer, but you only pay 10 or something.
10.5, yeah.
But you can't claim anything back on products and stuff like that, like fuel and boxes, but you can claim it all back on an asset. So if I bought a van, it's worked perfect for us, but there's another threshold, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. For mine, I think it's 150,000 turnover for the metals.
Yeah.
Which because of the way I've split the company, it won't.
It won't do that.
Yeah. It will with growth.
Yeah.
Because that's my future plans.
Yeah.
But as it stands at the moment, it will stay.
Yeah, that's perfect, mate.
That threshold.
Really good.
So sale, you were obviously a mechanic, and then did you go into sales, selling cars? Was it then?
Yeah.
So what was that like, selling cars? Did you
unreal?
do
Loved every
good?
minute of it. Yeah, honestly, it was.
You're a people person, aren't you? I think being a car salesman, a people person.
Did you ever get that car salesman, like, because sales, right, it's like
giving it the McGregor.
Sleazy, sleazy car salesman, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Is that do you ever get that, like, out and about when you? I
think that no matter what industry you go into, you naturally adapt to your surroundings.
Yeah, of course you do.
So like when I was in car sale, when I was a mechanic, I had snap-on tools because everyone had snap-on tools. When I went into car sales, first thing I bought with my big paycheck was a Rolex.
Okay.
Because everybody had Rolex. You know, you adapt.
To
not
look,
all of them, but
good,
Rolex was big. Obviously, Amiga was quite big. Tag was quite big. So that was the thing. I mean, we all had company cars. And ironically, I hate cars, and I've never liked cars.
Yeah.
So, watch was kind of like a...
So have you still got the watch?
No, I stupidly
sold it for the van, just to get a van.
That's
what happens
just to survive.
Just to eat.
Put food on the table for the kids.
So you're in sales. You've done that. How long was you in sales for?
Sold cars for about 3 years, I think it was.
Okay. So when did you think, I'll start my own business? When was that? When was that first thought?
Probably about... Well, I've always wanted to be in business by myself. I just never had the balls to do it. That is genuinely...
Yeah, because making that step from a full-time employee, PAYE, money every month to start on your own, it is daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. Like I say, when you're a single bloke, it's easy, isn't it? If you live at home, it's easy because you've got... But once you get missus, kids, mortgage, it's like, I don't want to earn this, I have to earn this.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like holidays and it's time with the kids. That's what I get sold on, is time. Yeah. So I'm not materialistic in any way. I just like to be with the kids and want to be at home all the time. So when I was a mechanic, the reason that I didn't have the kids at this point, but the reason I went into sales was because I was chatting to a few of the sales guys and they were like, told me what they earn. And I was like, there's no fucking way you earn that much money.
And I'm grafting under the card.
We work in the same industry, the same dealership, and you're telling me you earn that. And I was like, I'm not having it.
Yeah.
And then one of the lads, bless him, really nice guy, he came round, he's like, I just thought I'd show you that. I was like, what's that, mate? P60. Okay, now. I was like, Jesus Christ, right, I need some of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
So I decided to go into sales, and it was the best thing that I ever did at the time.
Obviously, a mechanic's more skilled as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you think.
You think it'd be more pay?
Yeah, absolutely. Should be.
Yeah.
But-
I suppose if it's commission based, it's all
Yeah,
on performance.
If you think about
Yeah.
selling's getting the sales, and selling's getting you're doing the company, you're selling for the company, you're making the company money. Do you know what I mean? The mechanics,
Yeah. But you say that, but when I was spannering, I was earning the company £120 an hour plus VAT for every hour that I was at work. And when
so that's what they charge. Okay.
And when I was, when the R8, the Audi R8 first came out, I was the only person in the dealership at the time who was an R8 specialist.
Yeah.
So I was the only person allowed to work on R8s. And then that was like, I think it was £155 an hour plus VAT. So you think it's still not as much. The sales is all flash, isn't it? Whereas like the mechanical side of things.
Yeah,
It's sort of like,
you've got to entice the salesman, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got
absolutely.
to entice. You're not
But
going
then
to
the
entice the
downsides-
mechanic like, I'll give you an extra 10 on this car. You give back the
yeah,
car.
that's what it is. But the downside with the sales side of things, like you said, in terms of it being commission based, when I first started at Toyota in Cheltenham, my basic was 10 grand.
Was it?
Yeah, so I'd come from a 32, give or take, salary as a mechanic to a £10,000 salary because it was all commission based.
Yeah.
And at the start, I thought, what if I don't sell any cars?
Yeah.
Because it does enter your mind. Obviously, I'm thinking,
Yeah, because you could have an off.
do I not? If I don't sell cars, what's going to happen? I've still got Mrs. Mortgage, kids. I've still got to earn money. But then quickly realised that you've just got to talk to people. And
is that still their business model now?
Yeah, massively.
Is it?
Yeah, massively.
But wouldn't that come under like the minimum wage?
So I was chatting to one of my friends the other day. Actually, the basic's gone up to 20,000 now.
Is it?
It was 10 when I started. Then it went up to 15. Then it's 20.
Yeah.
But then, look at the OTE of an average salesperson. I'd probably say it's got to be around 50.
Yeah.
Give or take. If you think £50,000 company car,
Yeah.
to not really know a fat lot.
Yeah.
90% of the people I spoke to couldn't spell car. They were really good salespeople.
Yeah.
But knew nothing about cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's a low barrier to entry, isn't it? Sales, it's like.
But it's great because
all you got to do is know a few things about the car and not blag it, but be good with customers, be good with people. And then with commission, it makes you hungry, doesn't it? It makes the salesman hungry.
Yeah.
100%.
Got to eat it, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what made you choose recycling? 5-star recycling. What happened to make you think, let's do this? Was it COVID?
Yeah, so
3 years ago,
Ricky's always done scrap.
Yeah.
Because my dad's always done scrap, so that was naturally the path I suppose I was going to find eventually.
Yeah.
But Ricky had then ventured with the rubbish side, because a bit like I suppose with the removals, you start doing one thing and then people say, oh, do you do that? And you go, well, I don't, but actually there's a few quid to be in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually I'll have a go at that. And then before you know it, that then becomes your job.
Yeah.
But COVID, when basically they stopped us working weekends and it was Monday to Friday. And I loved the fact that it was Monday to Friday. I had George and Chloe, my kids, and I was like, I'm seeing them every weekend. I was doing the school run, I'm like, this is great. And then when they reverted back after COVID, I was working every Saturday, every other Sunday, and I was getting a Tuesday off. And I thought, I can't be doing this now.
Yeah,
It's like I've sort of tasted, had a taste of the magic, and now it's like, it's taken away from me. So I spoke to Rick initially, and I was like, because he was working with a friend of his at the time. And I sort of said to him, I want to leave. I want to do something like what you're doing. And he was like, well, I think my mate's going to be leaving soon because he's gone on to do something different. We can look at doing something together if you want to.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because at the time, again, I don't know how you sort of the path that you went. You then really start at the basics and you go, so what are we going to be called? And we're just sort of like throwing ideas backwards and forwards via WhatsApp, and it was like, and you check a name, and you go on the Gov website, and you're like, fucking hell, I've spent half an hour on that, it's gone. I had a logo made, I branded, I've ordered the t-shirts. The name's gone, and they're actually a business, they're operating in London. You're like, fuck. So again, we just threw a few backwards and forwards, and then eventually 5-star recycling came about, and I was like, before I go any further, it's obviously going to be taken. I was like, fucking hell, it's not taken. great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then as I was messaging Ricky, I put 5, and you know, like on WhatsApp and stuff, a relevant emoji will come up.
Yeah.
So I was like 5, and number 5, star, and then the star, and recycling. I was like, fuck no, I quite like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like
Okay,
a
yeah,
potluck.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
Thing
you
of
look
how-
at-
so which is like-
okay, yeah,
Which
I'm
is
with you.
how we sort of
emojis, I
got
love
to
that,
that.
yeah.
So it's literally 3
The
emojis, obviously. It's
emojis,
nothing
3 emojis.
special, but
No, but it's good.
It's a good
just
story,
really
isn't
good
it?
name.
it's
Yeah, it's a great
obvious as
story.
well.
Yeah.
Your kid
Yeah.
looks at that and it's like 5-star recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as obvious as it can be,
Yeah.
without the wording. And I think you almost have to be in love
Yeah.
with your own branding and your
Yeah.
own design.
Yeah.
Not the best for the SEO though.
Same, we were talking about that with iMove, weren't we?
Yeah, because I moved don't have obviously
Yeah, I know,
you
yeah, I noticed that.
missed an O out of it. But
That's
yeah.
because there's another company called iMove out there, so
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just stripped the O away, didn't
No,
we?
I think it looked a bit cooler with the MVE. I think, and you
Yeah.
can it still pronounces move. That was the reason. You know, that
There
was
is an
my reason.
iMove out there, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called it iMove with a no. It looked too, yeah. No disrespect to iMove, the company, but yeah, it looked too. It never looked clean.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was it. I remember having the conversation. Yeah, logo's logo in it. You got to make sure the product's good in it. That's the
Yeah,
main
of course you
thing.
do, yes. And it's like being recognisable, isn't it? Like
But that part was exciting, I bet. You know, the start,
It
what we
is,
call
yeah.
in it, what uniform should we get, how should we brand it?
Yeah, nerve-wracking, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
exciting at the same time.
Yeah, of
like
course.
this, we wasted so much money
Did you?
because I think you do at the start of maybe this is, I don't know if it's me or if everybody out there who's started a business, you really don't know what you're doing. And there's not many people that you can ring up and say, oh, I don't know you, but you've got a really successful business.
Yeah.
Could you give me
a
20
hand."
minutes of your
Yeah,
time?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
everyone's really busy
Yeah, of
and,
course, yeah.
obviously you've got a business to run, you've got mortgage, Mrs. Kids and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you waste a lot of money, and I felt that at the start it was like we had to buy trucks and license it. Just the licensing and stuff was a bit of a...
So you
Yeah.
did you go like all in with 2 trucks straight away? And
Yeah, well, I was really lucky because Ricky had 2 trucks already. One of them was an absolute piece of shit. It was awful. It's actually a running joke because a friend of mine works in the police, and whenever they used to see it, they used to call it the shed. So they'd see Ricky, this is long before I was
Yeah,
with Ricky,
yeah.
because Ricky's been doing it a long time, and they'd see it and go, oh, there's the shed. Like, it was awful. It was an old banana Transit. It was dreadful, but Ricky was absolutely in love with it.
dear.
So when I first started, I was sort of like, oh, we need to change
Get
this.
rid of
I've
it.
just come from sales, which is all image.
yeah, it
And
is, yeah.
people buy into image. But
Yeah,
it doesn't matter whether you think you do or you don't, we do. And I remember there's a company that I do a lot of work for, and they're called WP Rendering. And they render like £1 million houses, basically. They spend a lot of money. And one of this customer, it's up in West Malvern. I remember we're driving up the drive. I'm driving in this old Transit, it's great. Driving it, and this guy, literally, he sees the truck, and now I know what he's thinking because I can see it on his face. So he comes running down the drive, literally running. He's like, sorry guys, no, we haven't got anything. And so at that point, I was like, right, I'm going to put on the poshest voice I can. So like,
No.
hello, is it Mr. Smith? And he was like, yes. We're just here to remove the rubbish for you. We remove all the rubbish for WP Rendering. Is that all been sorted? I know I hadn't, so I could see it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I fucked up here.
Yeah.
I've really sort of prejudged these
Yeah,
lads.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
would you do? We all
Yeah,
do it. You
of
can't
course.
help it.
Yeah, of course.
And then by the time we got to the top of the drive, it's like, coffee? Do you want your coffee? Do you want your biscuit?
amazing,
And I said to Ricky, I was like, I know I've been talking about this for some time now, but this is what people see.
Yeah.
Like, we need to change. We need to grow.
So you had a
And that
bit
was
of an
like,
epiphany, not an epiphany, because
Yeah,
you already
yeah,
knew.
literally that, 'cause I said
but
to
that
her-
explained it to me, then eating
So
it.
next time you go to someone's house,
Yeah.
just look at their face. That's all I want you to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And their face will tell you what they feel of
Yeah,
what we're driving.
It's great that you've foreseen that.
I
you
know,
spotted it straight
when I
away.
used to said the epiphany,
Yeah.
I remember driving, we were going to a job, and there was this lady, and she was quite young, and I just looked at Rick, and because I could see, and Rick just went, and I'm like, should we change it then? He's like, I love her. I'm like, I know, but
It's time.
it's time now.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what we had to do, buy some new trucks.
So how did you get your first customer? Was it just
Well, I didn't really have a first customer because I I inherited a business with Ricky.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of.
I just sort of helped polish it.
Yeah, polish it.
So
off,
I can't
yeah.
really take any credit from Ricky because Ricky he was quite well established. He wasn't.
What did Ricky did he go door to door at first, or was it like was Facebook about then?
Ricky's incredibly sociable.
Yeah.
So he drinks in a lot of pubs, goes to a lot of bars. Like he's at any event, but he does that completely naturally.
Yeah.
So he doesn't think, oh, I'm going to go and network. Whereas I'd be like, I'm going to go and network.
Yeah.
Ricky's just out about socialising.
Yeah.
And because he's so generous. So if we were in a pub right now, Ricky would come in. He'd be like, oh, hello, mate. Yeah, what do you know? Yeah, Warren, yeah, Rob. Nice to meet you. What are you drinking, mate? And you'd be like, I'll have this, I'll have this, I'll have this.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, he'd be at the bar because he's a fast drinker. And then he wouldn't ask you, you'd just have another round.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, just, I'm double parked.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, you'd be
was-
like, fuck, I've got 3 in. I can just slow it, but he'd never say,
Yeah. Was
oh, it's
to the
your round.
toilet.
Yeah, every 2 minutes. I'm the same. As soon as I get to that, I'm like, but yeah,
My phone's run out of battery. That's a new the Apple Pay.
don't carry cash, who carries cash anymore?
Yeah. No, it's good, man. It's good.
Ricky sounds like a legend.
Yeah.
Let's give Ricky a shout out because his face, I only see pictures obviously.
Yeah.
His face is just so contagious, that smile.
Yeah.
He just looks so friendly.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, and he is like 4 of the 5 stars. He works so bloody hard.
You were saying
I
just
couldn't
off there,
work.
weren't you?
Yeah.
He's an animal.
He could work without me. I can't work without him. So if
yeah.
we were to go separate ways, I'd be selling cars again.
But obviously you stepping into the business, would you say you brought in what Ricky lacked?
Yeah, so Ricky's got lots of amazing ideas. He just doesn't action much.
Yeah.
So Ricky's motto is, we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas mine is, we'll do that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because what, like you just said, what he
Yeah.
not lacks in, because it's all there, he's very academic. He's just more relaxed, whereas I'm like, no, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Need
we've
to-
got to do that.
need to
And
action
I
it,
want,
don't you? Yeah.
I want an action plan. I want to know when we're doing it, how we're doing it.
Yeah. And now
Whereas
it's got to
Ricky's
work.
like, yeah, it'll be all right. We'll get there.
I only asked that because Luke, who's the general manager at Warren's, when he came to join Warren's, I instantly realised he brought everything that I lacked. Because I wasn't the best in every department, do you know what I mean? I was just good at removals
Yeah.
at the time. So there's so much power in joining forces with people
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that brings new parts of the business.
Yeah,
you know what I
definitely.
mean?
So Ricky's, like you say, Ricky's good at the loading, and he's strong as an ox, to be fair to him. So
Yeah.
he does graph, whereas I do more of what
Take pictures of him.
I video him working, take photos. Ricky's just loaded this one, mate.
Marketing, innit?
Yeah, so I'm the self-proclaimed head of marketing.
So what about your first employee? When did you get your first employee?
Or is it still just you two?
So it's just a.
Oh, is it just you two now? Is it? Yeah. Still
So
going.
I'm scared of growth.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm scared of growth is because I don't want to put more time into this at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Once my kids are at a stage where they don't want me,
Okay,
so,
yeah,
so like
cool,
secondary school,
Yeah.
that for me is when I want to
Yeah. That's a good way
get
to.
the growth. But
yeah.
while my kids are,
Yeah.
want me, I want to be with them, and I don't want my business to consume my personal life.
Love
It's
that.
a great work-life balance at the moment.
Love
So
that.
that's exactly what I want to keep.
Brilliant.
Is that Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
9 to 5. I will not work weekends.
Yeah.
Not for £1 million. Because
Really?
honestly, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
Bank holidays we don't. If Rick wants a day off, he has a day off. I want a day off, I have a day off.
Yeah,
You're
brilliant.
making me feel bad now. You're making
No,
me
that
feel
is good though, because
But
that's what
great,
that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm looking for
Yeah.
that, but I struggle because I've grown a monster. you know
And
what I
that's the
mean?
thing.
Yeah.
Once you've got something that's colossal, you have to maintain
Yeah.
You
it.
do, yeah.
Because you get
Yeah.
to a point, and it's the age old, the more you earn, the more you spend.
Yeah.
Well, I'm at a point now where I'm happy with what I earn.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that
You
funds the lifestyle that I
you
want.
just get
which
a better car, bigger
holiday.
house, don't you?
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
better house, yeah, it's just the same life though, isn't it?
Yeah. And I hate cars, so I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah. If you're not materialistic, then it's just it's
Yeah.
And as you say, there's more to life, isn't there? Sometimes, and,
Yeah.
and you don't want to be regretting missing your kids growing up, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, never.
How old are your kids now?
George is 7 and Chloe is 5.
Okay, yeah.
So I, like I say, I do the school run every morning.
Every
without
morning,
doubt.
yeah.
Married as well?
No, not married.
Not married.
No,
Popping the question?
never.
Here
No,
live,
never.
live on the podcast.
No,
on the
absolutely.
podcast.
She knows when we first got together, it was like, I want kids, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Great. We both know where we stand.
Yeah.
I think that's part of that comes from like my background, because my mum and dad aren't married,
Yeah.
still together, 6 kids.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
That's
it's not broken, then fix
Yeah, I
it.
know what you mean, yeah. See, when I got with Tash is from like a real traditional family, and Tash's grandparents, they're all still together, all married, kids after marriage, all that kind of stuff. But I'm from the opposite. Like almost everyone that I know have got broken families, including myself. So marriage didn't appeal to me.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? But it's something that Tash really, really wanted.
Yeah, I get that.
So I just followed suit. But Tash also knows that I'm married to Warren's at the same time.
Yeah,
yeah. I know.
I've got
Yeah.
2
Two
marriages.
marriages.
And she, like you said to your missus, you know, I don't want to get married. At the start, I told Tash that unfortunately I've got a business that will consume me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she understood it straight away.
I think the key is being honest at the beginning.
Of course.
You have to be
Yeah.
brutal, because
Yeah.
I come from a relationship where I've always wanted kids, and it was sort of like left longer and longer and longer, and so it got to the point where like we met and I was like, just so you know, I want kids.
Straight away.
Yeah,
9 months
yeah.
have been
Learn
nice.
from your mistake. Learn from your mistake.
yeah. And I said to my missus not long ago, because quite a few of her friends always sort of put me on the spot about the marriage thing and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And a lot of them are divorced,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is great,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, you're getting married. It's like, oh, are you married? I was. Oh, there we go then.
Yeah. What's the stat? 50% of marriages break down?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think that's true.
Probably
even
higher
tell you,
than
is
that,
it, yeah?
I thought.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's
I'm
quite
pretty sure I heard it recently though, that's why I think 50%.
50%, yeah, especially this day and age. It's too much temptation, because back in the day there weren't much stuff to do, so you'd go to church and you know that's what it is. That's why all the churches are going down, because there's too much to do now. Back in the day, church was
No,
a-
that's back
it
in the
was a
day. You
social
just had
thing, wasn't it?
less chances of getting caught.
Yeah,
That's true, yeah.
It was still
Yeah.
going on.
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
But it's
Yeah, I
funny though,
suppose
that
there is
your
that,
parents, there's 6 kids.
Yeah,
My grandparents had 6 kids.
yeah.
Just one generation ago, that was the norm.
Yeah.
And now it's 2 kids, isn't it? 2 or 3.
Yeah.
4
If
is
that-
a bit like
if that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got 4 kids.
Yeah, it is
What's wrong
like.
with you?
Yeah.
Someone's doing well.
How are you affording that?
Yeah, but my cousin's got 6, and
Only
I'm
the rich
like,
can have kids.
how have you got 6 kids? Yeah,
It's like
it's
King
amazing.
Henry the X stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like loads of
it
kids.
is. Yeah.
I'd have like loads of kids. I'd love it.
Would you?
But the reality is, and again, I've sort of had this conversation with my missus recently. We've got a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Perfect. I've only got a 3-bed house. They've got a bedroom each.
Yeah.
I don't have to change car. Holidays are geared up for 4.
Yeah.
So like everything is quite good
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then to go, and I'm not saying it's a step backwards, but to then go back to like
That-
nappies
yeah,
and
yeah.
sleepless nights and all that sort of stuff, I just think,
Yeah, that's the thought of it,
do I
isn't it?
fancy
Yeah.
that? Not
Yeah, that's the
really.
thought of it. So in your business, what's how do you get customers now? What's your best? Is it just Facebook? Just
Yeah,
keep
so
getting-
the strategy's changed. I think naturally with business, you grow with your business. So at the start of the business, like I was using My Builder, Love Junk, Instagram, Facebook.
is My Builder, they on lead generation?
Lead
for the
generation, yeah.
clearance
So you get,
industry?
yeah,
Are they?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, technically, My Builder is for every industry.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
They specialise, so they'll only send you clearance leads. They would only send you
Oh, okay.
meaningful leads.
Yeah.
That's how they work. But you buy the lead, so that doesn't mean you get the job.
Yeah. You
So
have to win
so-
the lead.
Yeah, so I would pay. It would vary anywhere between say £3 plus VAT to £25 was the most I ever paid for a lead.
Okay.
But that would also depend on the size of the job and the finances
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
in from from the person that you were going to do the job for. And it just got to the point where I'd spent about £100 and I hadn't even actually spoke to a customer. So I
Okay.
was like, something's wrong here. I'm
Yeah,
spending
yeah.
money for leads and I'm not actually, you know, you'd get the information and then you'd reach out to a customer and you wouldn't get anything back. Sometimes you would, and then it would be
Yeah.
like, oh, so-and-so's said they'll do it for this price, or so-and-so will do it, or
Okay,
it has
yeah.
to be on a Saturday, and I'm
Yeah,
like, Saturday, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then Love Junk is another lead generation, but they take 20%. So I have to
Okay.
factor that into my quote. So all of a sudden, so I had an instance recently with somebody locally who wanted something removed, and they messaged us privately, but then I also got the lead via Love Junk.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
it was like, and they said, why are you this price on this platform? But you're
Okay.
this, and I'm like, because I've got to factor in their 20%.
So do you send the quote from Love Junk then? So is
Yeah,
that
so
how-
they don't
keep
give
it
you
all in house.
that everything's
Yeah,
in-house. They've got
okay.
100% control.
Right.
And I think they use keywords as well. So you can't, if I was to say Facebook or my number or my email,
Yeah.
they hide it.
Okay.
So it's everything's kept in-house.
That makes sense.
Which, if you're starting out, it's great because you've got the opportunity
Of course,
to
yeah.
get your
Yeah.
name going and buy your
Yeah.
work. But once you,
20%'s a lot though, isn't
it's a
it?
hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for that, like people, and I could be wrong here by the way, but somebody trying to get rid of junk, they want to pay as little as possible.
Yeah, nobody
course,
wants
yeah.
to pay to
Yeah.
get rid of rubbish.
So an extra 20%,
Yeah, it's massive.
and then imagine for your VAT as well on top of that.
Yeah. And then obviously I've got to pay to get rid of
Yeah.
it.
So what is that your biggest overhead, the disposal?
That is that's pretty much my only over. That and diesel, which obviously you'll
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
The fuel prices are just, even with fuel cards, like, because I didn't have cards for a long time, because it was just something that I put off. But even with the fuel cards, I mean, we do about, and considering that we've only got 3 trucks and there's only 2 of us and we're a small business, I do about £1,200 to £1,500 a month in diesel.
Okay, yeah.
And you think, that's a wage.
Yeah, of course it is.
So all of a
yeah.
sudden, I could have an extra member of staff, and then that's the flip side to the rubbish industry. And if anyone's watching, they'll understand is when someone says, "Oh, how much is it to remove this?" You go, "Oh, it's 30 quid." And they 30 quid.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to start the truck.
Yeah.
I've got to get the diesel to get there. Of
course,
tax,
yeah.
MOT,
And that
insurance.
time,
Yeah, and that's what people don't appreciate, especially with rubbish, because like you say, you don't get anything from it.
Yeah.
It's rubbish and it's there, and now it's not.
Do you work with any like solicitors and probate stuff?
Yeah.
Do they take a cut?
Sometimes somebody might want something in return. So what I've started introducing in terms of a payment, if you like, because
Yeah.
when I used to work for listers, they did a referral scheme.
Yeah.
And I love referral because it's great.
Yeah.
You do something for me, I do something for you. I've got a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
And it helps your business grow quite quickly. So what I will do, I'm happy to do now because I've grown our Facebooks and we've got about 10,000 followers. I'll say, I'll give you a shout out. Is that enough?
Yeah.
And then someone will go, actually, yeah, that'd be great. So I had a guy in Evesham recently put a job I'll wait, which I'm going to go and quote on Tuesday actually. And he was like, I'll basically, in long story short, I want some money. So I was like, well, you're a small business. You've just started. Why don't I just share your business on my platform?
Okay.
These are the stats that I get currently. That's
Yeah.
like £300 worth of advertising.
Cool,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, amazing, we'll do that instead.
Yeah.
So I said, every time you send a lead,
Yeah.
just tell me it's from you. And then when I'm there, I'll tag you.
Okay.
So it's like, it's a form of payment without paying.
Yeah, it's currency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what
So
you get.
is that how much you've got on your Facebook? 10,000 followers.
Yeah, just
Great,
over now.
yeah. Great. So how do you think you've been doing that? What's your secret to getting the
Being
followers?
funny. Humour.
Initially, it was the freebies, like the free gift. I know you did this when you
Yeah,
started your business, and it's great. So initially, it was the freebies, but then I started doing competitions. So
Okay, yeah.
one of the first competitions we did, I got a Ford Fiesta in for scrap. I think I paid 150 quid for this Fiesta. I put it in for an MOT. Failed on about 300 quid's worth of work.
Yeah.
Got it validated, and then I just put like and share this post, you can win a car. And then off that
Oh,
post
okay,
alone,
that's
we had about
genius,
1,500 followers.
Did you? Yeah,
like
that's genius.
almost
that, yeah.
overnight. And then I downloaded, I can't remember what software I used. I used something to generate the winner.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
some
yeah.
woman in Malvern won the car. And Small World, she's got her own little company. She's a cleaning lady.
Okay, yeah.
Maria's Maids, I think she was called.
Yeah.
And she just happened to win the car. So I then dropped the car, and then me and Rick were like, that worked really well.
Yeah.
So we did it again. We had a Corsa.
Yeah.
And then we gave away a Corsa. And then Peter Kay tickets. So
Yeah.
when I bought my missus Peter Kay tickets for her birthday in 2017 when he first started touring, and his tour got cancelled, didn't it? So then when we were online queuing for the tickets, I said to myself, I remember ringing her, she's like, because she WhatsApped me saying, oh, I'm through, like, how many do we want? I was like, get 4 tickets, me, you, your mum, your dad. And I was like, get me 2 more, because I'm going to do a competition.
Okay,
and then
cool.
that was for us was great, because
Yeah.
that was quite, that's quite a good,
Yeah, it's a good.
to me it was like,
Yeah.
you couldn't get hold of the
Yeah.
tickets anyway,
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
for someone to win them,
That's great.
and a girl called Chloe, funnily enough, same name as my daughter, she won it, and she saw him in the December, the tickets came out, and I'm seeing him Friday. So she saw him 2 years before I did, and I bought the bloody ticket.
I was going to say, he don't turn up to many these days, does he?
He looks great though, doesn't he?
He's cancelled a few, hasn't he?
Yeah, chaos. But yeah, so it was the giveaways. The giveaways was a big one. The competitions were the big one. But then, like you said, I think it took me too long to learn that people just like people.
Yeah.
So when you're posting things,
when you.
I hate watching myself back. I hate listening to myself.
Yeah.
So if I do a video, I do it in one,
Yeah.
and I won't watch it, and then I'll be like, well, I'm happy with
just
that,
post
it.
and then I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
post it.
Will you watch this?
No, probably not.
Really?
But I think with it, you've already been here. You've already had the conversation.
Yeah, see, I was the one talking.
No, well, I edit them, don't I? So it's like I'll edit them and then I'll try and pick keywords out that I'll put into the software to give me some short videos, and then I use that our content for the month. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's working good. It's working good.
Something I wanted to touch on, mate. An important Facebook post that you did, was it last year, I think? The caravan that got burnt down. Can you tell me the story about that? Was it a homeless man?
Yeah, so Ricky went camping in the Forest of Dean, I think it was, and there was a lad called Alex who was just randomly camping at the same time. Rick got chatting to him. Long story short, this bloke was like, I'm just living here. I keep getting moved on by the police every now and again.
Yeah.
So Rick was like, I've got some land. He's like, just come live on my land. He's like, I've got a caravan there. He's like, you can have the caravan. Within the removals, we get gas bottles all the time, so it was free gas.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He's got water and stuff, and yeah, he was living with Ricky for a little bit. And we still don't know how or why the caravan got set on fire. The fire brigade came out, and fair play, they were amazing to them, to be fair. But they just said it was just one of those things, they didn't know what started it.
Yeah.
So we then started a GoFundMe
Yeah.
for Alex, and to be fair, all the money that we raised, I can't remember how much it was, I think it was about 600-700 quid.
Yeah.
We then found another
And replaced the
caravan,
caravan,
and
wasn't
then
it?
put it
Yeah.
back on. And to be fair, like a lot of our followers then messaged me and they were like, we've got clothes, we've got blankets,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
got
That's
food,
great,
we've
yeah,
got
that's
shoes.
great,
yeah.
So almost within a week, he was like,
Kitted
he
out.
had a better caravan, clothes, food.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a real nice guy.
Is he still there?
No, so he's moved now, so he's over in Evesham.
Is it?
It's just what he does.
Is it?
So he'll spend a little bit of
Oh,
time,
okay,
and then
yeah.
he'll move, and then
Okay,
he'll spend
yeah.
a bit of time.
I was thinking, couldn't he become a helper? Has he got that in him? Could he become a
It's
worker?
hard though, isn't it? Yeah,
he could, but without.
It's a lot of work, isn't it? It's
He
a lot
likes to
of-
smoke.
Yeah,
Does he?
yeah.
Yeah,
What, weed?
yeah.
Does he?
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that,
No.
but I want the opposite.
Yeah,
Or
that's
somebody
what I mean.
drinks
You want
Red Bull.
it's the last people you'd employ.
Yeah. He's lovely.
Yeah, although
Like,
it
solid
sounds
earth.
great, it sounds beautiful, like to get someone off the streets. But that's what addiction stuff's for. That's what AA clinics are for,
Yeah,
to get them
yeah.
out. They need. I don't know. It's hard. It's
Again,
nice
that
to
was
give someone a start.
just Ricky meeting somebody in a field.
Yeah, but
that
I remember
almost
that
sums up
post being
Ricky. Like,
amazing.
yeah, it was nice.
Really,
it was
really
nice
good post, yeah.
because somebody suggested that we do the GoFundMe, because I was gonna. Me and Ricky put some money to one side to replace it. But yeah, when somebody suggested it, I was like, at first I thought, I hate stuff like this because it just sounds really beggy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually for someone else, and he needs it. He needs
Yeah,
somewhere
of course,
to sleep.
yeah.
So it's sort of.
But it worked both ways, didn't it, really?
So he weren't in the caravan or anything like that.
No,
was it?
thank God.
Yeah.
Ironically, he'd come to mine, so I said he could shower at mine. Because obviously Ricky's land is quite remote, so you can't get signal or anything down there. It's a nightmare, there's no electric. So he said, if you ever want to shower, just tell me, I'll come get you, come to mine, have a shower. So once a week I'd go pick him up and come to mine. So I've got my two kids in the back of the car, driving back through Brownsford. I could see loads of smoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, your caravan's on fire, mate. Driving down the lane.
You actually.
Mate, your caravan's on fire. What's going on? Yeah, it's horrific.
Yeah.
My kids were in the back. Just, what's going on? The gas bottles there was a couple of gas bottles. He'd left them right by the caravan when he was swapping them.
Yeah.
So one of the gas bottles started going off. Georgia Clare in the back, like scarred for
Oh my
life.
God.
Yeah.
What do you reckon he did? Do you reckon he left something on, like the toaster or something weird?
I don't know. I'm assuming something maybe left
Yeah.
on, but I'm not blaming him because
Yeah, it's
I
just one
don't
of those
know.
things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something obviously started it. But
Thankfully, you took him for that shower, innit?
oh yeah, absolutely. So just phone drive. That's your caravan, mate.
But the moral of the story then is obviously be kind, giveaways, and pay things forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
The good thing that we do as well with the giveaways, the only thing that we struggled with is delivery. I know that
Yeah.
sounds stupid, but because we do, like when we do the house clearances and stuff,
Yeah.
lots of people want stuff, but they either don't want to collect it or they can't.
Yeah.
So what we started doing now is, it sounds stupid, is I'll just put it on my drive
Yeah.
overnight,
Yeah.
and it goes.
goes,
People
yeah,
come
yeah.
and come and
You
take
wake
it.
up and hope it's gone. Yes, it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
3p sweet's gone.
Yeah. Especially with bloody
Yeah.
pops at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's two sides to the giving away. The one thing is
I
that someone's
bet-
benefiting, but the second thing is I'm going to pay to get rid of it.
Yeah, of
I
course,
bet
mate,
outside
yeah.
your house is like, when like you tag the Tesco's and you get it for cheaper. There's like people hanging outside your house and like ready for the next bargain. Does that happen?
Yeah, we were unloading the other day, and before the stuff even hit the drive, it was gone.
Was it gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
But I
car
like
is
that though, because I like that people then associate, come into mind to be able to find something,
Yeah, of course.
or get something, or
Yeah, you're
like I said,
building like a massive community there, aren't you?
yeah, it's good, it's nice, and
Brilliant.
we've had a few messages from like local people who say, oh, if you get a sofa,
Yeah.
so like 9 times out of 10, if I get something now, I don't even need to put it on Facebook because I
You just
know.
deliver it. Yeah.
Like I had a this morning before I came here, I picked up a caravan from Kemsey, and there was a guy, Charlie, really nice kid. Funny enough, they've got 6 kids. Coming back to it, and he'd messaged me ages ago. So if ever you come across a caravan, can you let me know? So as I was picked it up, I was like, Charlie asked me if for a caravan. So right, I've got a caravan. Do you want this caravan? Yeah, I'll have it. Here's my address. Drop it off.
No way.
So like literally picked it up from Kemsey, drove down to Ronksworth. No, sorry, he lives in Morden Villages. Dropped it on his drive.
Did you?
And then he's just done a little TikTok and tagged us on Facebook of me unloading his lad in it and all that sort of stuff. But it's good because then it means that I haven't got to scrap something that doesn't need to be scrapped.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the whole ethos of our business is to genuinely
Recycling,
recycle.
yeah.
Not just recycling in the sense of the
good,
word it goes to recycling again, but
but actual give to people
for someone to actually
yeah,
make use of it.
Yeah.
And from a rubbish perspective, if someone is doing rubbish removals, they'll appreciate the fact that you've got to spend money to get rid of it,
Yeah.
whereas you then don't have to.
Yeah.
Because
And something else that's nice, when I used to do the giveaways quite a lot, is you live in your bubble, don't you?
yeah,
But when you meet all these people, you actually realise that there's a lot of underprivileged people out there.
yeah, 100%.
And it really opens your eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively.
There's certain moves I've done before where at the end of it I've not even charged them because
Yeah.
their furniture's falling apart, for instance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
We
you
see
just
it all
think,
the time
actually,
doing the rubbish
You,
removal.
you get more out of that than the
Of
pay
course you do,
packet, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
you
something,
do,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, absolutely.
That particular lady, by the way, go into a little tiny story, but moved her furniture was falling apart, bed was, we had to fix her bed somehow, and it's just like a bit of a dive, do you know what I mean? Lovely lady. So I said, I'm going to go on the hunt now to try and kit your apartment out, flat
Oh, I
out.
love
So whenever I found something, I'd message her on Facebook, do you want this? She said yes. So I basically kitted her. It took about 2 months.
Yeah.
But she's now the biggest Warren's fan.
Yeah, of course.
Not
Yeah.
a single post we post.
Well,
that
she
isn't
doesn't love or share
She
or
loves
like.
it, or she sends it to her friend, or she tags someone in it.
Yeah.
She's a fan now,
Yeah, 100%.
and that costs us
And will be
nothing.
forever.
Yeah.
And the power of, she'll tell people that story.
yeah, word of
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah.
Yeah,
She'll tell
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
whenever she has a conversation.
Yeah.
Even if someone comes around, oh, where'd you get that from? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Funny you should say that.
He does moves for free.
yeah. Contact him. Tell him I sent you.
Yeah, there is that side of the story as well, isn't there? What about admin in your business? Who does that? Who does the admin? Do
I
you have
do
a lot
that.
of admin? Or do you type your invoices out and stuff?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
I've got an accountant, MJN Solutions, he's great, amazing. And then he uses Xero. So I
Okay,
just
yeah,
use
yeah,
Xero to ping all
Yeah.
my invoices. And then I do all like the debtors and stuff. But at the end of the year, my accountant fundamentally does all the
Well,
accounting.
And you might not have even thought this, but I actually think you could go into the influencer. You can make money from Facebook if you're already doing a slight smidgen of it now
Yeah.
after 3 years.
Well, the funny thing is we had a notification from Facebook the other day asking us to put in our bank details because
Yeah.
we can now start taking revenue from ads.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
in the
great.
last 2 weeks I've noticed that ads have started going on to the videos that we put on and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a chap that I did rubbish removal for, local guy, Worcester, Rick Gannon his name is, and he's got something like 478,000 followers. And I was chatting to him once and he was saying that just from his face. But I mean, he is relentless, and you
Yeah.
know yourself that when influencer wise, you have to be relentless. It doesn't even matter if it counts you.
yeah,
You
of
just
course, you have to
you just
keep
post,
trying
post,
it,
post,
don't you?
post.
Yeah.
And I think he does something like £14,000 a month
Does he?
just off ad revenue
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
What does he do? What is he? What is he?
So he's a local entrepreneur. So he's got he's got a property portfolio.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's
And he posts videos about he does a lot of Airbnb and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot more to
Okay, yeah,
to him.
Yeah.
He's an ex police officer.
yeah.
And coming back to we said doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Like I'm completely invested in this guy Rick Gannon.
yeah. You completely you want every
Yeah,
move.
it doesn't
you
matter
watch,
what he
like-
does.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm like, great.
It's so
great.
true.
It's
when
2
you get
o'clock in
to
the morning.
someone,
I'm like, I should probably go to bed now.
Yeah.
What's Rick up to?
It's weird at this day and age, isn't it?
It's
But you know
frightening.
what? It used to be Coronation Street, didn't it? At the end of the day.
I'm not as old as you, man. I don't know.
Stop watching Coronation Street.
Where do you see 5-star recycle? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 5-10 years? Where would you like to be?
Metals.
Metals,
Yeah, so open a metal yard.
Scrap yard. You own a
Yeah.
scrap yard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's the-
So your old man, was he ever that any old that guy that comes down the street? I don't know if you ever had that.
Yeah, I think everyone has.
Yeah. Was he
On
that?
Sunday
Was he that
morning.
guy? Was he? Yeah.
No, he did
Okay.
not. He did door knocking
Yeah,
effectively
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
how it was done.
Yeah.
It still is to a degree, but
Yeah,
except they now
old
just
school.
use the horn all the time.
Yeah.
But his business is skips, so he's now supplies skips to companies,
Okay, yeah.
and then he just goes and empties the skip and puts the skip back.
So do you want to be more into that side, into the metal side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's more profit in that as well, isn't there?
Yes and no, and I say yes and no because everybody knows the value of everything now.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for example, like with what we do, so at the start we had a bit of an identity crisis. We were 5-star recycling, but I was advertising for recovery and rubbish and scrap and cars,
Yeah,
and I will always do cars. It's in my DNA. I
Yeah.
can't help it. I will
Yeah.
always do it. But even people know that years ago, like when I used to work with my dad, people would just go, "Here's a car. Like, can
Yeah.
you just get rid of it?"
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Yeah, great." Whereas now it's, "I've got a car. How much are you going to give me for it?" And it's like, well,
Yeah.
at the moment, I think I get about £110 a tonne for cars.
Yeah.
So if you think an average car is £110 a tonne, and you want 150 quid for the car,
Yeah.
the only money I'm making is by breaking it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I've got to sell parts off it, I've got to take the wheels off it, the tyres.
Yeah.
Everyone knows catalytic converters are fairly
Yeah.
good
Of course,
money
yeah.
these
Yeah.
days. So that,
Quite a bit of
So
work
yes, you
involved
can-
as well, isn't there?
well, yeah, because you've got to do it, you've got
Yeah.
to break it, you've got to advertise it, you've got to sell it. So,
What is the weight of a car?
well, it
Obviously
depends what it is, I
depends,
suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anything between a tonne and
3.5
3
ton,
tonne.
3.5 ton vans, don't you?
Yeah.
So
Well, your 3.5 tonne van, that's
Yeah,
gross,
that's-
isn't
that's
it?
yeah,
That's
is
the
that
value,
is that the
yeah.
full on
Yeah.
with the?
Yeah. So that'd be 2
it's
tonne
gross,
probably.
basically.
Yeah, your 3.5
Yeah.
tonne would be about 2 tonne.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there are people that, like with the free scrap metal collection that we did at the start to gain our 5-star reviews,
Yeah.
there's money in the scrap metal, and that's when you get given stuff, obviously it's 100% profit.
Yeah.
But then you've still got to factor in the time of going and collecting
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
fees or the sorting, because again, you have to sort. If you're not sorting it, you're losing money.
Mm.
A bit like the rubbish game. If you're not sorting it and you're just letting it go as it
Yeah.
is, that's where it gets expensive.
Yeah.
I was in a scrap yard the other month, and I think they had a big sign as you walked in, like £125 a car, I think it was. Something like that. Would that sound about right?
Yeah, typically
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do it by per tonne though.
Yeah, and they had this machine. Must have had a few cranes in there.
Yeah.
There's a machine with clippers, and he literally
Just
he
breaks it all
had
up.
he had claws on his
Yeah,
bottom. Got the car in, clawed it, clippers like
Engine out.
radio. Took him about 2 minutes to completely
Strip the car, really?
cables out, stripped it, put it in one place,
Yeah.
put the engine in another, put the axle at the bottom in another place. Yeah, it was amazing to watch. Like,
Yeah, and it also depends. Again, there's lots of different sides to the metal
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
So obviously, you've got export. There are certain cars or vans, lorries
Yeah.
that are for export, so you get more money for export. A lot of what we do is, and I'll be honest with our customers. If I'm buying a car, I'll just say, "Does this have to be scrapped?"
yeah.
And they'll go, "Oh no, if you can keep it on the road, then great. 'Cause if I can, then obviously that's where the money is.
Yeah, of
Because
course,
as a mechanic, I can fix it, put it
Yeah.
on the road, and then
yeah.
potentially sell it on. Problem is, I concentrate my time more on 5-star rubbish now.
Yeah,
on
rubbish
the
and
metals recycling side of things.
Yeah.
Because I've had a bit of an identity crisis.
So did the government give you, because you're recycling and
We don't get grants.
Do you go get grants or nothing like that? Because you'd think they'd try and promote it, wouldn't you?
It's more for like recycling
out?
centres.
You're more for recycling centres, so
not
you're just
independents. Be nice if it
have a
did.
word with old
Rishi.
Rishi. yeah.
Well, Black Pub Recycling is a monster of a business, isn't it?
Yeah, we use them a lot.
Yeah.
They're great. All the lads there are great.
Right, have you got a business question from the last guest?
Yeah.
On this podcast, we always ask a business question. You'll leave a business question after to the next guest, so we always kind of follow it on. So
this question is from Tom, the guy that I was speaking about, the clearance guy.
Yeah.
And he says, what percentage of your full potential do you feel you bring to your business? What percentage?
Depends on the time of day.
Yeah. Talk about that then. It's the morning.
Yeah.
100% in the morning?
Yeah. So I think when you're self-employed, you give 100% all the time. If you're not,
Yeah.
then you're not. You do it without knowing you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like I can't help. It doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing. I could be out on a Saturday night, 2 o'clock in the morning. If a lead comes in, I'm responding.
yeah.
Like, it's relentless, and
Same
it
as
is
me.
because I know with my sales background that if you're not responding, then I'm impatient. So if I message you and you don't message me back within 20 minutes, right, I'm on to the next.
Yeah, on to the
right, I'm
next,
on to the next. Because I feel that if you can't message me back, then what chances are there you're going to come and do the job?
We said that there's a bit of a debate on the last podcast. Like it was like, is it? You said 4 hours. Is it 4 hours? Was that another time? I do think straight away, act straight away.
Yeah, so what we were discussing, lead generation.
Yeah.
So if you get a lead, when's the sweet spot to actually bombard that customer? Do you know what I mean? Because if 5 companies are getting the same lead
At the same
and
time.
their phone's blowing up within 2 minutes, you got to put them off, I feel.
Yeah.
So is it 10 minutes? Is it half an hour? And he said 4 hours, isn't it?
I think 4 hours, but I think in sales, the general, when you get taught like sales, it's act on straight away. I know everyone's different, but surely if you're in the mode about buying a car or getting something and you're filling out a form, then you're almost ready to go.
Yeah.
If you reply the next day, or 4 hours, you're on to dropping off the kids or doing something else, aren't you?
Yeah.
As you say.
For me, it's I'm
straight away on it. Yeah.
The second I get it, and I can't. If I know it's there, it's got to be responded. I can't just leave it.
Yeah.
That's why it's good my phone's over there, because if I see it, I'd be.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I'm exactly the same.
So it has to be.
There's a
But
couple of
one thing
sides
that
to that. Carry on.
One thing that I now do, it's between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I do not use my phone because that's when I'm with my kids.
Yeah.
So when I'm with my kids, that's not a rule, but I try my best not to, because it does. Because I was with Chloe and George. They were a bit younger at the time, and I was on my phone. I was replying to a customer, and we were in the front room playing, as you do. And I remember George said to him, "Yeah, 1 minute makes you know what it's like. You know, yeah, 2 seconds, mate. Yeah, George, 2 seconds, mate." And I remember he just came over and he put his hand on my phone. He picked it up and he put it on the sofa and he went, "Can you play with me, please?" And I felt my heart drop, and I was like, "What am I doing? They'll be in bed in like an hour. This can wait an hour.
Of course.
And if it can't, then I don't want it."
Yeah.
You're
doing that right. And that goes back to your point of not wanting to grow, because I promise to you that 5 and 8 window you've got it'll go, unfortunately, when you've got staff, because they ask questions at those times and you've got stuff to organise, and it's difficult. It's difficult to turn your phone upside down.
You'd never switch off.
No.
My brother, bless him, he's got in Midland Commercials. He gets into work for about 5 o'clock and he gets home for about 10. And he's done that when he worked for Midland Commercials, and that's why he ended up acquiring it, because he just works so hard.
Yeah.
But at what expense?
What cost?
You know what?
It's and work-life balance, and I think what I've learned from this conversation is that you've got a good work-life balance. You've kind of mastered that, and then you've sacrificed the growth of your business to And I respect you for that,
family.
yeah, for the growth
Yeah.
of your family, and yeah, and a lot of admiration for that, to be fair.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, yeah, I am, yeah. I'm going to go away now and think about my think about my life.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah,
You just got
yeah.
to say no.
Well, that's what we said at the start, innit?
Yeah.
Say no, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
say no.
But
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, great to have you on the podcast. I don't know if you've got any more questions for old
Have
Terence?
you got any questions for us,
For
though?
us, yeah.
Anything that you'd like to ask me and Rob?
Without sounding stupid, no.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what to expect from this,
Yeah, yeah.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I hadn't prepared anything. I've just...
You've never done a podcast before, no?
No, this is the
Yeah.
first time I've
Yeah.
done one. It can be a little bit sort of like nerve-wracking. You're
Yeah.
almost thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, oh, what's next? Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose it's easy being the host because you just ask the questions.
yeah.
But
And
like,
you've sort
when
of
you always
preempted
answer
what
it,
you're going to
yeah.
say, and
Yeah.
you've done it a few
But now
times.
you've come across great, mate,
No, I've
and
done it,
yeah,
so-
respect, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Good, man.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.